Back, another episode, Squeeze the Neck podcast, and today I'm far north with my new mate, Big Tone, Anthony Junior Morgan, but you corrected me, one's the real name, one's what you use.
Yeah, Tony Morgan, that's what I used to, that's my fight, well, yeah, that's my name.
That's your name?
My name, and if anyone ever wanted to Google me or YouTube me, that'd be...
That's what it comes under.
Yeah,
all
Tony
right.
Morgan.
Well, nice one for having us up here, mate. Anyway, so Advanced Basics, which is your gym.
Yep.
Tell us, how did this start? And then we'll dive into more where you come from.
How did the gym start, or
Yep.
how did the journey of training, like to this point, start?
All of the above, mate. You tell me.
Well, basically, it's been a funny journey and a funny story. So I started training when I was 19, so fairly late, just because I just felt like, I need to know how to look after myself. Where I was from, people were cunts, do you know what I mean? And I think that's everywhere.
Yeah.
But I just realised early on, like, you can't get by just being a nice guy.
Yep, I got you.
You've got to be able to, basically, if you can't fight, then people want to fight you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I started training, but before that, when I was 17, I ended up in prison, and that's when I realised, right, shit, you need to know how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there's nowhere to run here, there's nowhere to hide. You can't go a different route, you can't walk that way or whatever. Or you can go on the Muppet wing if you want, but if you don't see yourself as that, that's not something you're going to want to do.
Yeah.
So you got to face the music.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got a taste for fighting there during prison, thinking, right, when I get out, I want to train, I want to learn how to fight, blah, blah, blah. So then when I did, I started training. 19, 23, I had my first fight. End up winning my first 10 fights, and then made my pro debut and whatever else. Didn't really work out how obviously I wanted things to, but in hindsight, I weren't fully committed. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, I'm not 30 years old, at a bit of a crossroads of right, what do I want to do in my life? Brick Lane looks pretty good. I'd like to do that, learn how to build my own house, things like that, cut the middlemen out. But I also have a lot of passion in MMA and believe that I'd be a good coach. And I could see other people coaching who weren't the best coaches, earning a living, do you know what I mean? Because I was labouring on site as well, I was grafting on site. And that's why I was at that crossroads of right, can't keep doing this. I need a trade, need a real job, need to be like a man. And then just off a whim, just started coaching. I was like, you know what, I can do that. So yeah, here we are. That was 3 years ago.
And here we are in a great blinding facility. That's one of the things I said to you when it first, because in London sometimes it's hard when you go in places because of just infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
Where you come in and you've got a big open, sort of high ceilings, all
Yeah.
that nice stuff. But if we go back a bit further, mate, because for anyone listening, we almost had a podcast before we started this one, right? We were chatting for ages and having a laugh. The man came prepared. He got chairs specifically for the podcast, so he's committed.
It's not every day you do a podcast, is it? So
that's it, mate. Yeah, we was going to sit on the floor somewhere, weren't we?
Yeah.
So it's all good. But so if we go back, like you said, you went to prison at 17. Is this YP's, is it?
Yeah.
So if you go back to sort of where you're from originally, mate, and let's lead us up to that point.
I'm from a town called Clayton, which isn't that far from here. Actually, the funny thing is, my fight name was the Clayton Park Strangler. That was my fight name. That just come about random. I said to my ex-girlfriend in my sleep, she told me, she went, you know what you said last night? I went, what? She went, you said, pick up your rap on the Clayton Park Strangler.
Wow. It's a good job you didn't shout out like Linda or something, innit?
That's another story. But and the funny thing is, even to this day, I'm really big on people fucking not littering. It pisses me off. I'll swear I've been to prison and whatever else, but I won't litter. Do you know what I mean? A man must have a code. So
No throwing Snickers wrappers on the floor.
Nah, it's just fucking, it's disgusting, isn't it? It's lazy. And someone's mum or dad is going to pick that up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
got you.
So yeah, I try to have good
Have some morals about you.
Yeah, and just good energy and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, you definitely got good energy. When I showed up here, the two things that bounced out at me straight away was, firstly, we was talking about what weights you fought at, which we'll get into. Yeah. But you're a big lump. When I come in, some of the weights you were telling me you fought at lightweight as well, you said, which is 70 kilos. Yeah. But how tall are you? 6 what?
6'1", 6'2" on timber.
We'll call you 6'2", so it makes me sound a bit taller, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And naturally a big guy. So what was that like before we get too deep? How was getting weights?
No, so like I said, I'm 110 kilos now.
Yeah.
All there.
Guns.
Which is crazy. But yeah, I probably used to walk around about, depends, because I fought for a long time. So my weight would fluctuate. Like I said, I wasn't the most disciplined, unfortunately. Breaks my heart now, but it is what it is. I can't go back. So I definitely could have done things better, but there's times where I might have been walking around 13 stone, and there might have been times where I was walking around about 15 stone.
Is that right?
Who knows? But obviously, like I said, I only had one fight at 70 kilos.
Yeah.
And that was like the easiest weight cut I've ever done as well, which was crazy about that.
Is that right? Well, how did you? What was the sort of protocol? Are you dieting like crazy, or is it more of a cut?
So I think I dieted. I think I cut from about 77 kilos to 70.
Now,
cut
so not bad, not too bad.
Yeah. Like this was what 2000 and I want to say 16, 2017. Do you ever remember a show called Bama?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It was on Bama.
Oh right, okay, nice.
So it was a good show, but
how'd you get on in the fight at that weight?
I lost, unfortunately. I got beaten in the second round off Jai Herbert.
Okay, yeah. Shout out Jai Herbert, UFC guy.
He was a solid opponent, great fight. But
was it weight cut sort of what I'm getting at? Did you feel drained?
Oh no, I felt really, really good.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've never spoke about this, but basically, you know, Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall fought before me.
Oh right, okay.
And it must have got overturned, but on the night he lost by DQ.
Did he? Okay.
Because he cut his opponent with an elbow, but they said it was a downward elbow.
12-6 that they got rid of.
So he got stopped with a DQ, but I don't think he's got a loss on his record, has he?
He lost in the UFC to Curtis Blades, didn't he? With a funny one.
Was that a loss or a no contest?
Loss. It counted as a loss.
Right,
and I think he has got a loss early, so I think it might be a loss.
Right,
yeah,
so it might have been that night then.
Yeah.
And but like, have you heard of Safe MMA?
No.
So Safe MMA is where they do blood tests.
Okay.
To make sure you've not got hepatitis or anything like that, because obviously you can bleed in someone's mouth and all the rest of it. So anyway, it costs, I can't remember, it was like 180 quid to be covered for like 6 months, or I can't remember because it's quite a while back. So you're all like blood tested, all cleared, everyone's cleared to fight, and Tom Aspinall cuts his opponent. And for whatever reason, obviously like Bama at that point, we're trying to maybe be like what Cage Warriors is now, you know, like to like be that official feeder promotion to the UFC.
Yeah.
So they're like trying to like do everything like to the book. And I only know this because someone told me who was in the crowd. They were like, yeah, after that fight, they sprayed disinfectant on the floor and was scrubbing the floor. But anyway, it gets in the cage. And when I fight, if anyone's ever seen me like fight live, when I get in the cage, I like to have a little bit of a move around for a few reasons. One, I'm trying to let you know, like, right, I know what I'm doing. Like, you know, maybe all the other fights haven't been so good or whatever, everyone's still finding themselves as a fighter. I know who I am, I know what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm about. So I give a little bit of a spectacle, nothing major, I just sort of like dance around the cage, and it just gets me in the zone. And I remember doing that in that fight, and it just didn't feel right, because it's the first time me experiencing this. I just thought, just forget about it. So when the fight started, I met him in the middle, and whenever I was going to like throw a punch, my feet just kept slipping. I just kept slipping a little bit. So before you know it, for the whole first round, I'm on the cage. Like I'm being hunted down by a killer. And so anyway, he didn't physically hurt me with anything, but I was being hunted down. And so I'm on the cage, and then towards like the end of the round, I had like this thing going on at the time. I was really big into like, you know, walking away right hands. So I like walk away and bam, come back with the right hand, and I caught him in one of them. And it was like he had fucking Skechers on, you know, the shoes with the wheels, because he just went fucking flying across the cage. And I've like, right, boom, boom, and I've got on him, and then the buzzer went. So then, gone back in to the corner, and have you ever heard of a Muay Thai show called Thai Fighter?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I've got some Thai Fighter anklets. You can't buy them. Like,
Okay.
you know, the shorts and the gloves,
Yeah,
and that,
yeah.
you can't buy them. But my Thai coach at the time, Master Bates, hi pal, I think he went down the show and ended up with a few bits from there.
I got you.
And he was like, yeah, mate, you have them, and give me the anklets. So I was like, so I wore them for every fight. And they were like I said, I won like my first 10 fights. So I had like a few, obviously as an athlete, athletes can be quite superstitious anyway, and I am. So these are like my lucky anklets, my lucky shorts. I used to come out to the same artists. They fucked up my art. They sent me out to the House of Pain, jump around.
What was the song supposed to be?
If I said it, you probably won't know it. It's a rapper called Woody, and I always just come out of Woody, and it's like my guy. And so anyway, they fucked up my song, whatever. Biggest show I've ever fought on as well, and they fucked up my song.
Yeah.
So anyway, goes back to the corner. His coach is like, get them anklets off. Took them off, put a bit of water on the floor, you know, and dab my feet like what you see in Thai boxing.
Yeah.
So it goes back out, and I'm quite like, I've got a bit of grip now on my feet, so I'm quite aggressive, and I come out, and now I've got him on the fence. And what I noticed about Jai Herbert was, for a tall guy, he ducks a lot.
Okay.
When he's unsure of what's going to happen. When I'm unsure, I exit, because that just, it naturally suits me. Where with Jai, he shelled up when he was unsure. I mean, I'll do that if my back's against the cage because I've got nowhere to go. So, at the end of the first round though, because I knew I'd hurt him, boom, I come in with a big uppercut, landed, and I remember thinking, how the fuck didn't I knock him out with that? So anyway, gets him back on the cage, and know he's going to duck, so I come in with a big uppercut, and as I come in with the uppercut, he just sort of like does a not the face left hook, clips me right on the chin. And I only know all this from watching it back because my memory got wiped. So anyway, he catches me on the chin, and I've got him on the fence, and we just do like a full circle. He must have seen that look in my eyes, like, oh, he's hurt. So I've now circled, got my back on the fence because I feel safe there. I'm like, I tell my guys all the time, you've got to get comfortable on the fence. Don't be content where you're happy because you'll lose rounds on the fence. But be comfortable there, because it's good to defend takedowns as well on the fence, I believe. And it's also good to finish takedowns on the fence. But so anyway, I'm quite content there. And he's now like trying to finish me, and I'm fighting back, whatever else.
Is this on the feet or are you on the floor at this point?
On the feet
still
at
up?
this point. And then we end up on the other side of the cage, because I fight before that, I was getting my ass kicked for a few rounds, and I come back strong in the end and got the finish. So I knew I had it in my arsenal to do that. And he probably did as well. And all my friends and family who were watching, they'd never seen me get beat, so they're probably expecting me to pull it out the bag as well. So I'm rallying back, and he must have realised that, oh, he's still dangerous, this guy. But he did something really cool. Basically, he got my left hand and pinned it across my body and started elbowing me in the face here. So I've turned away, and then he's took me down with like a body lock, you know, like I think they call it the chair or something like that.
Yep.
Took me down with something like that. And I did, after this fight now, I had so much more respect for Big Nog, because Big Nog, amount of times has been hurt and submitted people on it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because I didn't know where I was. I don't have any memory of this, so I'm on autopilot. But unfortunately, I didn't have enough hours on the mat, did I? Like Big Nog does, millions of hours on the mat, where even in autopilot mode, he can still do some great stuff. And unfortunately, I broke one of my golden rules from bottom out. I give my back up, and I got submitted. And it was, I always say to people, it's the best way to leave the cage after a loss, not knowing where you are. Because that walk of shame ain't as bad. And it was only after about 20 minutes or so, I come round in the changing room, and I was sat down, looked at my coach, I was like, what happened? And he went, you got beat, mate. And I just fucking burst into tears.
Yeah.
And part of it, because I felt like I didn't get to perform. And it will definitely sound like an excuse to people watching this, you know, the slippery floor. But what I've come to learn, like in fights, there's factors in every fight. And in the word factors is the word fact. And it's a fact that the fucking floor was slippery.
Yep.
Only people who know that who were there seeing it, because everyone was like, mate, you'd throw a punch and you'd nearly do the splits. And what didn't help was the Tom Aspinall situation happened in my corner. Yeah. You know, where the MC's saying your name and all that. It's happened where I'm stood for most of the fight. I regret, right? Two regrets. One, I didn't have a plan B, because plan A was come out, touch gloves, because he's a striker, I'm a striker, I'm going to outstrike him. That was my mindset. So I didn't have no plan B. And also, I actually wished I just would have gone, yeah, ref, stop the fucking fight. Stop the fight. And like, what? Stop the fight. What? All right, and stop the fight. And then maybe people would want to know, why did Tony Morgan verbally quit that fight? Why? The fucking floor was like an ice ring, that's why. And do you ever remember Tom Duquesnoy?
No.
Who's in the UFC?
Okay.
Fireball kid.
No, I don't know.
So he fought, he's a great fighter, but he retired to be a stuntman.
Did he? Okay.
But maybe that's the UFC for you.
Yeah.
But he fought a guy called Shay Walsh. Ever heard of Shay Walsh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So Shay Walsh fought. It was an unbelievable card, mate. The who's who of British MMA fought that, and that's what it was like. My sort of like, this is it on the
like
big
the coming
stage.
out party. Sort
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. And so Shay Walsh fought Tom Duquesnoy, and Tom Duke and White, Shea Walsh with a really nice elbow. But you'll do well to find another example of someone reacting the way Shea Walsh reacted. He did a frog splash because the floor was like an ice rink.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever heard of Martin Stapleton?
Yeah.
Stapes. So he fought, remember that French guy? Like Frankenstein or something, his nickname was. Really, really good fighter, lightweight he was.
Okay.
Stapes goes for an head kick, slips, the guy knees him in the face, Peter Yan style.
Yeah.
So Stapes got off easy, won by DQ. got illegally kneed in the face, but everyone was slipping all night.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was a big thing in my career. It sort of like zapped me a little bit, and it's all weak ass shit because it's obviously you've got to come back stronger, aren't you? But at the time, obviously, I wasn't that mentally strong to do that. So yeah, that was but that's all experience for me now as a coach. For my guys, it's like, yeah, we've got to have a plan A, B, C, D, E, and fucking F and G, because anything can happen. You can be getting beat at your own game, all kinds of shit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's all life experience. I won't change it anay.
That's it, mate. So the moral of the story is we're blaming Big Tom Aspinall by the sound of it.
Say that again.
We're blaming Big Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
But that's cool, mate. So if we go back a little bit, if you don't mind speaking about it, like what was the situation? How did you end up in prison at 17?
Funny one, right? So basically, I was definitely on the wrong path, on the fringes of a lot of like, because now 36 years old, I'm a dad of 2 kids, got daughter's 3 in November. My son was 1 at the end of July.
Nice,
so now I look back at my life and think, wow, fucking hell, I was pretty close there to this and that and all the rest of it. And yeah, I was just in the wrong circles, like happens with a lot of youth in probably every country really, not just England, but just in the wrong circles. And basically, I ended up going to prison for a crime I actually never even did.
Really?
For dragging a woman out of a car, and that's just not my MO.
Yeah.
There's not enough money involved in selling fucking stolen cars to do a violent crime like that. It just didn't make sense. And basically, I got arrested for one incident that got dropped, but sort of my name was in the hat then. And then police knocked on my door one morning. I was in bed, and they said to my mum, like, my mum's a good, like, you know, good person, good, never been in trouble, don't smoke, never took drugs, whatever. As she would say, worked for the NHS 20 plus years, you know, and all that. So my mum's one of them, like, no, Tony, the police are good people, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, they knock on the door and they're like, yeah, we just want to talk to him. And she's like, right, okay. As soon as they see me, they slap handcuffs on me. And my mum's like, you fucking lying bastards. I'm like, Mum, why are you even surprised? Like, they're just as fucking corrupt. So anyway, they had like a piece of paper like this long with all these crimes that they were trying to pin on me. And I'm like, nah, what you, like, I'm 17 years old, a bit of a stoner, play computer with my mates, you know, do a bit of this, do a bit of that. And they're like, where was you this night? I'm like, mate, I don't work, I don't carry a diary. I honestly couldn't tell you where I was, but I know I wasn't in that town. I never got, it's a place called Denton. Still to this day, I never go to Denton. So, anyway, gets brought in, ID parade, Viper, whatever they call it these days. I'm number 9, she's like, and bear in mind, I'm mixed race, right? My dad's black, my mum's white, but I'm very pale in complexion for someone who's mixed race. I might look like what people used to call quarter caste, but I'm actually, you know, half caste mixed race, right? So you'll do well to find another mixed race person my complexion. You might have to get my complexion, you might have to get like a Greek person or, do you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. So I'm on this ID parade, and everyone else who's on an ID parade is a volunteer. You're the only person who's been dragged out of a cell.
Is that right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, everyone else is like you could do it yourself. They might be like, oh, can we use your picture of yourself for, God knows how they...
People volunteer for that?
Mate, I honestly couldn't tell you, but yeah, everyone else is a volunteer. You're the only person who's next on the line. Okay. So you probably got a different expression on your face. You probably look a bit guilty. I mean, I've got one of them faces anyway.
But you're definitely going to be the only one that's got something to be nervous about, aren't you?
Definitely. So but this woman's like, it's either number 6 or number 9. I'm number 9. And the copper's like, obviously my sister has told me all this at the time. Copper's like, well, it's either is or it ain't. She's like, her words was, because certain things you just never forget, do you? And this is a key point in my life, so I'll never forget any of this. And she's like, I'd say it's number 9. So they're like, right. Anyway, so Copper's like, yeah, she picked you out. I'm like, what the maybe this is a bit of karma because I definitely was on the wrong path, but I'd not done this.
Right.
So anyway, ends up in Crown Court. And if you see me doing this, mate, it's all the tension I've got in my neck
Yeah.
from grappling and
Yeah.
wrestling.
I'm the same, mate. I'm sitting here a bit.
Yeah, I have a
bit
lot
one
of
of them,
tension
yeah.
in my neck. So anyway, ends up in Crown Court, fighting the case, and she sort of gave a statement a little bit back to front from what happened on the day to a version of events in court.
She did, the woman. Yeah.
Obviously, this woman's not lying. She got attacked, she got robbed, whatever
Yeah.
else. That happened, right? But it weren't me. So when she's kind of like getting the facts a little bit back to front, my brief's picking up on it. It's like, well, you said on the day that you seen someone ducking, hiding behind a car, and then someone come up from behind and grabbed you, put their hand over your mouth, and then the person who you seen ducking then come and grab your handbag. You said that on the day, but today you're saying someone grab your handbag, then they grab you from behind. And she's like, I can't even remember, but we're like buzzing. You know, she's tripping up. Like I said, the woman wasn't lying. You know, they weren't out to get me, but they had the wrong person. So come dinner time, my brief spoke to the judge, spoke to her brief, and they're like, yeah, you've got this. So I'm like buzzing on the phone. Yeah, boys, I think I'm coming home. I'll catch up with you later. So anyway, gets to the verdict bit. We find the defendant guilty. I just remember hearing my mum gasp like that, and I'm like, what? So I've looked at the doc, and on my mum's life, no thoughts or crosses, one of the guys winked at me, and I'm like, so they're like, yeah, take him down. So I'm like, can I say something? They're like, no, take him. I'm like, yeah, why the fuck's he winking at me? And he like looked a bit, you know, like, oh shit, I've been rumbled here. And he just, no one cares about that today, but he took me down. But I'm like, fucking hell, this guy had it out for me.
Yeah.
He's like, on your way, you little cunt. Which, to his credit, he's like, you're a little bastard. I get that, but still, you know, it was the wrong person. So anyway, it ends up going down and waiting for the sweatbox to come. And they're like, yeah, you're going to Castleton, which is in Newcastle. Obviously, it's like my first. I did a week in a prison called Hindley before this, on remand, and then I got me what's called a JC, a judge in chambers. So this is like my first time going jail proper though, and they're sending me all the way to Newcastle.
How far's Newcastle from here?
Pretty fucking far.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, far enough, mate. I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
Going to prison. No, literally, I've just turned 18.
Right.
I got sent down on the 26th, my birthday on the 24th of July. So anyway, so I'm like, but I'm on this sweatbox and there's about 7 other people, 8 including me, that are all going to the Lancaster Farms. Just so happens one of the guys on his sweatbox as well, I knew him.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, listen, you better, like, they're like, there's no beds in Lancaster Farms. I'm like, well, you better find one, because if you drive me all the way to Newcastle, you're going to have a big job when you open the door. So you better fucking get me one. I can't imagine my threat scared them, but for whatever reason, they went, right, we've got you a bed in, you know, after about an hour. So I was like, oh, buzzing. I couldn't be arsed going all the way to Newcastle. You know, total different fucking language, you know, with the Geordies and whatever. Total different type of people. For all I know, they don't really like people who look like me. I don't know. You're just thinking the worst. So anyway, he gets to Lancaster Farms, and no. I've been in Forest Bank for 4 months on remand.
Where's that? Where's Forest Bank?
This is in
Oh,
Salford.
this is close.
Yeah, it's in Salford. Sorry, pal, I'm getting.
Yeah, no,
muddled
go
up.
for it, man. You're good.
So I was in there for 4 months, wearing your own clothes, you know,
Oh, okay.
smoking weed, fucking mobile phones.
And what is it, like an open prison, is it?
No, it's just it's a private prison.
Okay.
So they don't give a fuck. But it's literally when Steve Irwin died. Remember when, God
Yeah,
bless him.
Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, because I remember I had a bottle of hooch on my TV, warming up, fermenting, and the wing governors come, like, he's always what he's called Mr. Nash, who's calling Porno Tash Nash, he had a big thick tash, and he's come on the wing, and for whatever reason, he felt the need to look at the news on my TV. Well, I've got a bottle of hooch on top of my TV, and I'm like, I just walked away, like, I've got nowhere to hide, but I'm like, oh, fucking, you're going to see it, and he must have just seen it and just not been asked, because they're just not asked. So that was, you know, there was people in there that I knew, people who knew people I knew, so people were looking out for me and all that, and it was just, I had a good time, and I met, like, someone in there who kind of showed me the ropes of prison, like, basically, you know, how to get by, how to survive and whatever else.
And during this 4 months, are you assuming you're going home at the end of this? You don't think you're getting convicted? Or
No,
what?
no, been found guilty.
Oh, it's okay.
So now I'm waiting. I'm on remand waiting for sentencing.
Okay.
But every time they open my door for the first month, I'm assuming they open the door and go, yeah, we made a mistake. You're going home. And after that month, I was just like, right, you know what, I better get on with this. So the parole officer come to prison to get do a pre-sentence report. And I'm like, listen, I've not done this. You've got the wrong person, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, right, okay. So my solicitor then, within a week, has come to prison like, Tony, what the fuck are you doing? I've told you, you've got to just say you've done it, or they're going to hit you with some, you're going to get 4 or 5 years, mate. If you, like, just say you've done it, I'm like, fuck, but I've not done it, though. And he's like, I know, mate, but if you say you've done it, you might get 2 years. If you say you want to, so it's a flawed system, mate.
That's a hell of a choice to make it 17 as well, 18.
Of course it is, because obviously even to this day, I've got this strong sense of right and wrong. Even though obviously I was on the wrong path, but even so, when it was convenient for me anyway, it's like a strong sense of right and wrong. And I'm like, this is basically getting bullied into saying, that's what it is. That's what they do. And maybe that's why we are the way we are, because the people who run this place are just flawed. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's like, you've got to say this. So anyway, she comes back and I'm like, yeah, I did it. I just denied it because I didn't want my mum to think I did it. I'd rather you think this of me than my mum, whatever else. So yeah, I just had to bite the bullet. So anyway, then goes to court for sentencing. In court, you can't understand a fucking word they're saying. It's all legal jargon. I think it's like that on purpose. The only thing you understand is the numbers. 4 years, 5 years, 2, and I'm like, huh? What? So anyway, then says, right, because you've got some really good references. Your mum's a hard-working woman. Your dad's a hard-working guy. You know, your first time, whatever else. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years. And I remember, like, being appreciative of that. Like, oh, thanks. And so anyway, then I went on that journey in the sweatbox and whatever else. And then got to Lancaster Farms. And that was just a total different setup now from Forest Bank.
And Lancaster Farms is up in Newcastle, you're saying?
No. They were going to send me to Newcastle,
okay.
but spat my dummy out, and then they found me somewhere.
Sorry, right, I'm with you.
So basically, that was a whole total different setup now, because Forest Bank was 18 to 21 on remand, 21 and upwards if you're sentenced. So it's very chilled in a sense, because he was grown men there. Where Lancaster Farms, it's 18 to 21 year olds. Everyone's got something to prove. Everyone's got a chip on the shoulder. Everyone's got fucking daddy issues, mummy issues, fucking girlfriend issues, you name it. And they're all just put in one place.
So is it more hostile, I'll take it?
Yeah, massively, mate, massively. And it's like different gangs and whatever else. And, you know, from on the out and then they're together. And I was never in a gang, but like I said, I was sort of like on the fringes of one, like slightly affiliated, but never in it too deep. Never have been. It never, even to this day, like, it just never appealed to me being in a gang, because the way I see it, you're just a little coward if you have to have the backup of other people, which is good to have people having your back, but then on a downside, let's say we're in a bit of a team, a bit of a gang, whatever, and you're a mouthy cunt who's a liability, who's always causing trouble, then I'm always going to have to be dragged into your shit. Yeah. And I don't like the idea. I cause enough shit for myself. I don't need someone else causing shit for me. So, yeah, I was just kind of like, because, like, you know, you might have seen it on the news growing up in Manchester. There was always like a big gang thing, and you know, it's stupid really, because, you know, a lot of them people now grow up to adults and they're like, oh shit, no way, is that what I did to that family? Yeah. Is that what I did to these people? So yeah, I'm so glad I've never been involved in anything like that, really. But in jail, you're sort of like surrounded by it, and obviously at that age, it can be seen as glamorous to some people, or like I said, you get these lost, weak people who feel safe with numbers around them, where I was kind of always been my own person. So, but you're in prison, you're far away from home, they're from Manchester, you're from Manchester, so you congregate with them. And yeah, it was a different setup, very, very hostile, and that's where I got the true taste for like fighting, because before all this, I weren't a fighter. Yeah. I weren't a coward. It's been times growing up as a kid, people like, what? Shut your fucking mouth or punch your fucking face in. And I'd be the sort of person to go on then.
Yeah.
Rather than be like, nah, chill, mate, please. Like, you know, I'd never be that person, but I'd let him do it. Where now, obviously, that's close enough, hostile. Anyone gets any closer than that, you're getting smacked, and it's just because it never worked out letting people get in close.
Yeah, don't invade the space.
Yeah, it always resulted in coming round like, yo, who's this coat? Like, where am I? Been knocked out. Do you know what I mean? It happened at least once or twice growing up. So prison allowed me to get past that. Where it's like, I remember actually the first fight I had in prison in Forest Bank. It was like brewing for a couple of weeks, me and this guy on another wing. And we finally had this fight, and I had him in the headlock, like punching fuck out of him. And he was punching me in the back of the head, you know, from his broken down.
Like a schoolyard brawl, yeah.
From his broken down posture. That's what I came into. I came into MMA with a good headlock. but obviously everyone takes you back, chokes you out. So I had him in this headlock, punching fuck out of him. And I remember thinking, this ain't even that bad. But obviously before it, I was quite nervous. If I could pick, I wouldn't have done it. You know, if I could have avoided it, I would have.
Was this like a setup fight, was it?
We'd had a little back and forth.
So you knew it was coming, I mean? Like
Yeah. So it's, you know, that even to this day, like, I've seen it with fighters and I felt it myself. It's sometimes fighters get beat by the moment, not the guy in front of them. It's the moment, it's the pressure, and they crumble. But I feel like all this was great training for me for when I did get in the cage. You know what I mean? Because I'd been up against people with weapons in their hands, people who are notoriously known for being hard, people who also look hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, because not everyone can get past that, can they?
Nah.
Not everyone can get past the fact this guy isn't just not scared of you, he actually wants to fight you. It's quite a daunting thing for people, and they just like, you know, crumble. Where
Massively, yeah.
You've got to wear that poker face, because I'm also scared, but I can't show that. Because if I show it, then that's it, I'm dead out. You know what I mean? So prison was, like I said, I won't change it because it's made me the person I am today. Like, yeah, I won't change this.
Yeah. What was it like in prison? Was it a violent environment? Was it constant going off in there?
No, mate. It was a laugh. It was a buzz.
Was it?
But it was one of them. It was like, it could happen. But I think once you get past that initial couple months, like, you settle in, you're all right. But then, you know, someone will turn up who just don't like you, or you don't like them, or, you know, like I said, I'm a very talkative, as you see, I'm a talkative person. I like to be friends with people, but every now and again, you got someone who's just a fucking prick, innit?
Yeah.
And in life, we can just avoid them, but in prison, you can't. So, you know, you may as well fucking punch them in the face. May as well throw the first punch.
Yeah.
Because
it's coming anyway.
Yeah, so you may as well just, I mean, and I say this now, like, to my guys, like, something like, I remember I went to Tiger Muay Thai in 2019, and I'm on this mat with all these Dagestani guys, you know, big collar years, you know, I'm just me out, and maybe I've never carried myself with, like, high self-esteem, but you kind of like, you're like, do I belong here type thing. You can have that mindset sometimes, you know, if you're on, like, a high-level mat. And but I was like, nah, I defo belong here. And I know what I do to people when they come to my gym, and they're not doing that to me. So bang, just to start the beef. Do you know what I mean? Because then you know now what terms you're sparring on. You know, rather than like, oh, if I go light, will you go light? You know, like what can happen sometimes when you're finding yourself as an athlete. Yeah. Where obviously by this point I'm a pro fighter. I'm well aware of what I'm capable of, so it's like, right, let's have it. And I'd like to say, in the 3 months that I was there, like, I lost a round here and there because I was just hell-bent on, like, nah, like, no one's fucking bitching me. One guy did, but he had, like, 56 kickboxing fights, German, or he was German, but he had that, you know, Dutch style of kickboxing. Yeah. And I tried to beat him at his own game, and I just blew my load in, like, a round. Because it's a high-paced, you know, up, down, you know, combinations. I tried to beat him at his game, and I remember, like, by the second round, my head's bouncing off the wall, which was, in fact, I actually had to say to him, give us a set, mate, and I never had to do that. Yeah. Where I've never had to go, I've been under pressure many, many times. I won out many, many times, but never had to say, give us a minute. The guy was fucking me up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's tough out there, innit? I've been there myself, Tiger. It's a tough place.
Yeah, it's an experience that you need, though, innit? As a martial artist, you need to get out your comfort zone, because it can be nerve-wracking going to other gyms in your country. Never mind being in another country on your own with all these guys, and they're together. Similar to prison. I actually remember doing a post on my Instagram ages ago like, this actually reminds me of prison. Far away from home and rubbing shoulders with killers.
Yeah.
I said something like that in the caption. So, yeah, you know, prison's definitely shit. You don't want to be there. Little things, you can't get up and just do whatever you want. But you've got to try and turn things into shit situations into a positive as well sometimes.
Yeah. And how long do you end up doing? You got 2 years. How long
16 months end up doing.
16 months,
Because I did 4 months on remand, and the judge was like, let's forget you did that. I'll just give you 2 years, because really you should be getting more. So because normally whatever you've done on remand, they knock off your sentence, but they were like, nah, forget about that. You're just gonna do a year from today.
Oh, okay.
And I remember sat there thinking, fucking hell, I'm not getting out for a year till today. But you know what, my mate's just got 16 years, so it can always be worse.
Was he the same age as you, was he?
Yeah.
16 years at like 18, that's
He
that's
killed
tough.
his mum's boyfriend.
Okay.
His
yeah,
mum's
that's what you
boyfriend
get.
used to beat on his mum.
Yeah.
And you know what a fucking lovely guy that guy was. I won't say his name because it's his story, but yeah, what a lovely guy he was. Just like always smiling, unbelievable shape, and that's what somewhat I've started to realise like of late, like who the most likable people are in society. And for me, the most likable people in society are the people who are really nice, treat everyone with respect, but if and when they have to, can pretty much waste anyone you know.
Yeah.
They're the most likable people because they don't have to be nice. Mm-hmm. They're choosing to be nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where people who can't fight, hate to say it, kind of have to be nice. You have to be a nice person because what if you're unpleasant to the wrong person? Then you're getting your face smashed in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
You see that on Matt's too, don't you? So if you're in a gym, the people that are sort of at a high level, for the most part, they're all great, aren't they? You know,
been there and
it's
done
the people that have been about a year that are starting to get a little bit about them.
Yeah, that
they're a bit prickly, and it's like
that cunts. And you know what, mate? Like, I fucking hate bullies.
Yeah.
And I've had it with certain people where it's like I'll see them get riled up off this insignificant person saying or doing something to them. But if that was me doing it to them, they'd be like, oh yeah, you fucking, you know, and it's like...
Yeah, you're a coward, yeah.
Yeah, you're fucking weak.
Yeah.
You're weak as fuck, and I hate that shit. The way I see it, I treat everyone the same.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, in fact, you know the way I see it, you know, if you can fight, you'll get away with far less than someone who can fight. Mm-hmm. Let's say if one of my mates there, who I know I can fucking beat up in a fight, is being like disrespectful to me, which don't happen often, but let's say if that did happen, first thing I'm thinking is like, is he alright? Has something happened?
Something's up with him, yeah.
Yeah, not who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
But if it's someone, and maybe this is the insecure side of me talking, but if someone who potentially might be able to beat me in a fight, or maybe thinks they can, then I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? Because it's clearly like, this is clearly a challenge, where from the other person, they're having a bad day potentially. So, like, obviously, if I then ask them, is everything okay? And everything is okay, and nothing's up, they just got a problem with me, then yeah, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if they're like, nah, fucking this has happened and that happened and you this and you that, I'd be like, yo, bro, sorry, man, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Chill out, man.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so I can't stand bullies.
I don't think anyone can they? And the reality is, in like martial arts, if someone like, or any of us that have done it for a long time and really dive deep into it, we haven't necessarily been bullied, but we've all been picked on one.
I've definitely been fucking bullied.
But
mate,
I mean, everyone's been picked on in one way or another, at some point.
Yeah, and this is what pissed me off about those people. They forget what that feels like. Yeah. I'll never forget that. It's fucking shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To be made to feel this big or whatever. Just like, and that's part of the reason why like I say, I do a lot of thinking these days, and I think maybe that's why I got into this line of work. Yeah. Because I know, subconsciously, I know there's infinite amount of clients out there that are one day going to be pushed to the edge where like, right, I need to fucking do something about this. This can't keep happening. So I'm like, hey, look, I'm over here. I will teach you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You can be, that shit can be in the past if you want. And it's like, I also don't understand why people don't train. But no doubt there's engineers out there earning a lot of money not understanding why people aren't engineers. Because they're like, fucking hell, the perks are amazing.
Yeah, it's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's got
point.
their own perspective where they're like, why are you not doing this? But for me, like, maybe it's a biased opinion because it's my lane, but it's like, why are you not training? Like, I shared something on my story with it. It's like Daniel Cormier talking. He's like, I can go anywhere in the world and I'm safe. I can at least defend myself. He's like, that's a great feeling. And it's like, you know, why would you not want to be that person?
Yeah.
And it's like, God forbid, fucking society ends tomorrow. Who's protecting you?
That's it, innit?
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, get with the program. Learn how to fight. Learn how to defend yourself. And so many benefits will come off that. Like, you know yourself from living in the gym. You get a whole new set of friends.
Yeah, do you know
Absolutely. What I mean? Like, you get like another brotherhood.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you start looking at your old friends and you're like, shit, we've not got that in common no more.
Yeah. That's it, innit? It's true. Because when you just touched on it, like when you're in the gym and you're training hard with people all the time, you get close quick, don't you? Because like if you're meeting someone, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday at lunchtime and having a tear up all the time,
yeah,
you get close quick, man.
If you're kicking fuck out of me all week, every week, but you're a nice guy.
Become like that, don't you?
Yeah,
Quick.
it's a brotherhood, man. It's
Yeah.
all that cry, bleed and sweat shit together. It's cliche, but it's kind of true.
Yeah.
And it's like surviving fucking Mount Everest together. You might not see each other for years, but because you've been through them trenches and because you pushed each other and got each other ready for fights and all the rest of it and did things you didn't need to do and all that, it's like, yeah, you can't. I've got friends that I go way back with, and then I've got friends that I train with for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Do you know what I mean? And it's a different friendship.
It is, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm a very sincere person, me anyway. So like all these people, like I've got a few teammates that I used to, you know, train with. We used to all fight together, and they've got gyms as well. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
And it's you know, I've only had the gym open since December, so I'm kind of new to the game in that regard. But like, you know, I want to see them win. Do you know what I mean? I want to see them all win, and you know that because from when you're that person who wants to see people fail, there's some ugly shit inside of you.
The problem with you, isn't there, if you're that guy?
Yeah, exactly. And even when life wasn't great for me, I was always happy to see people achieve things and succeed, because the day you're then bitter, fuck me, it's curtains for you, innit?
That's it, mate.
It's
yeah.
curtains. Like, you have accepted defeat, even if you got no money in your pocket, you got nowhere to live, whatever else. From the day you are not happy to see people happy, you need some fucking serious help.
You do.
You need Reiki.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Not that I've ever done that. I just like to say it to people, you know, if someone's having a bad day, like, you need Reiki.
Yeah, just from a curveball.
You need to get your chakras aligned.
But so I've got no doubt. I've just met you today, obviously, but I've got no doubt you're going to grow into sort of the biggest martial arts place in Manchester, man. Because
I
you're
try.
you're
That's the goal.
yeah. But there's a good energy coming in here. Do you know what I mean? As I say, we only met you today, but feels like I've known you for a long time. We've got that kind of click.
That's good, man. And you know what, mate? It's something that I've only just started to recognise. That's a superpower that I have.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? Like to make people feel like you know, trust me and like be warm and welcoming.
And there's nothing worse. We've all experienced it, right? When you go to another gym and it's cold and it's like, yeah, all right, go and train. Like, who wants to fucking be there? No one. You know what I mean?
It's funny to say that, because the very first gym I ever trained at was a gym called SBG, Manchester, and there was a coach there. He was a fucking knob. And I remember walking down the stairs, and because I'll let on to anyone. I'm a typical, no offence, I'm a typical northerner. I'll talk to anyone. My birds like that, rolling their eyes, you know, when I get talking to people in random places, whatever else. And so I'll let on to anyone, especially when I'm walking in the gym that you work at. And I just remember like nodding at him, and he just looked away. And this guy, I've never heard anyone say a good word about him. And the funny thing is, one of my guys had a fight at this guy's gym, right? You know, like an interclub. And it was a boxing match, and my guy definitely got fucking robbed. He punched this guy from pillar to post. And I won't mind, he'd only been training 7-8 months. Taylor, if you're watching this, mate, I'm talking about you. So he's a fucking phenomenal talent.
What's his name? Taylor what?
Taylor Sampson.
Taylor Sampson. Shout out, mate.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal talent. Been training 7 months. This guy had been training 2 years and had 4 fights. I had to fucking really, really ask him, to get that information. I'm like, right, how long's this guy been? What's his name? And he just kept avoiding the question. I'm like, yeah, what's his fucking name? And he went, no, I said for the 6 millionth time, what's his fucking name? And he's like, just ask one more time. And I went, listen, I'll just come to your gym, punch your fucking head in, you little prick. Because I just thought, fuck you, you little knob, you're taking the piss. So anyway, when he told me his name and I Googled him, the guy's had 4 fights, been trained 2 years, I thought, you little fucking muppets. But because I'd kind of like amped it up a little bit now, I thought, right, we can't pull out. My ego here, can't pull out. I would never say it to any of my guys, but I'm trying to subconsciously let you know, like, telepathically let you know, smash this guy's fucking head in because I can't stand his coach. So anyway, fucking get there. Taylor, absolutely. Anyone who was there will tell you he fucking boxed him around the room. And in fact, I'll send you the Instagram link because I shared a video of it, and I'm like commentating. I'm
nice.
cornering / commentating Taylor. And at one point, the guy goes to throw a left hook and kind of leaves the floor and sort of big miss. And I'm like, Taylor, clay pigeon shooting, mate, take him out the sky. And everyone's like, even his own corner, are laughing because they're like, and at one point, the cameraman who's filming budges into the fire alarm. Fire alarm goes off for about a second. I'm like, Taylor, you're too hot, mate.
Don't worry
too
about
hot.
it,
Yeah, so anyway, it comes to the decision, the guy wins. I'm like, what? So I'm in this gym, and I'm definitely, this isn't a good thing. Kids, don't do this. But I'm in this gym, and I'm that fucking pissed off and feeling, like I said, I have a strong sense of right and wrong, and I don't like, it's something I'm working on, but I really don't like injustices being dealt to me anyway. Maybe through go to prison for something I never did. Who knows? Yeah. Obviously some childhood shit. Who fucking knows? But I'm now walking around this gym saying as loud as I can, going, this gym is fucking shit. I want to fight someone, but no one wants to fight me. And thank God, because I would have regretted it and whatever else. But I remember, like, you know, you're just like pissed off. And obviously it's something I have to, because I'm supposed to be a coach, supposed to be professional. Yeah, Tony, don't be like that. But some of my athletes have said to me, like, you know what though, mate, as much as it is a bit of a problem, I would well rather have a coach like you than a coach who don't say shit and don't back the guys up. And
you care, don't you? It shows you care. I mean,
fucking hell, do I care? Of course I do. And part of the reason why I care, because this isn't just your name, this is my name.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even to like Taylor's only, that was an interclub.
So, doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter. But like, I got one of my fighters now, Jack Cragg. He's an amateur fighter. You know, we're on the path. We want to go all the way. His career is my career.
Yep. You're simple, part of it, ain't it? It's you.
Simple as like what? When he wins, I win. When he loses, I lose. Mm-hmm. We win or we lose. You know what I mean? Touch wood. He's got a fight 7th September. So it's like, you know, I pour my heart and soul into this. I'm trying to do my best. You know what I mean? Because I want, like, you know, like I said, my career didn't go where I wanted it to go, and you know, I'm trying to live through these guys in a sense, but there's definitely pros and cons to that. And one of the benefits for them is that they get all of me.
But do you know what? You say that your career didn't go where you want it to go. That probably benefits your fighters more than anything, because you've still got that sort of like unleft sort of,
big
you know what
time.
I mean?
Yeah. Fucking, like I said, fucking hell, we're at an interclub and I'm
ranting and raving.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because we didn't get the decision that we definitely should have got. Because he fucking wobbled him about 3 times.
God forbid one of your fighters gets robbed in the UFC or something. Jesus Christ, we have a full-blown meltdown.
Potentially, but I'm here. The version of me as a coach that potentially gets to the UFC is here. Yeah. No doubt on that way to that person, I probably got that shit under control.
And you're still a young guy, right? In terms of coaching, you're a baby. How are you, 36?
36,
yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've literally got 30 years ahead of you, as coach, if you want.
Even since that moment there's been a moment here and there where I could have acted like a dickhead, and I'm like, you know what, don't.
That's it.
One of my fighters actually said to me, Christian Tebbett, God bless him, he was like, mate, you can't, you know, you don't want to basically where you get it, where you're not invited to shows.
You don't want to be that guy,
yeah. Exactly, and I'm like,
You don't want to turn into Tony's a fucking nightmare. Don't have him on the.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was like, good point, great point.
But you learn, don't you? It is what it is.
So you need people around you who tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's an athlete. I coach him. But that's the relationship that we have. He can also talk to me like that. It's not just a one-way thing where I'm advising him. he's advising me there as well.
That's it, man. And when when you started, you said you started relatively late. Did you start in MMA or did you come from something?
Funny story, right? So basically, when I was on the way to prison, I was on something called Youth Offending Team.
Yep.
And on Youth Offending Team, they used to pay for us to do boxing once a week with a fighter at the time called Tommy McDonough. So he was a really good pro boxer and also involved with the community, with youth work. Still to this day, he's got a business now called the 0161 Project. So basically, Tommy McDonough would teach us boxing once a week in like a fitness studio, and he'd let us spar. Turns out I was pretty fucking good at it. I'd like some natural ability, like got really long arms, good reflexes.
How much was you weighing at the time?
I was 17, so I was probably about 12 and a half stone or something.
And as tall as you are now, ish?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he's long, you
Yeah,
had the range.
But you know what though, mate? Fucking everyone is. You know,
Is that
when
right?
Well, when you start fighting anyway, like, even at lightweight, like, obviously I fought Jai Herbert, he's 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
Like, not all lightweights are 5'10", 5'9".
No.
It's great when they are. You know what I mean? It's fucking great. It's great. But, so anyway, it turns out I had, like, natural boxing ability.
Yep.
So, was playing with that, went to prison, came out, got back in touch with Tommy at the gym round the corner here called Moston Colliers. Was going there for a bit, but unfortunately, like a lot of boxing gyms, it's you on the bag, using the ring. And I don't like that bag shit, running shit, whatever. It's like, it's essential, I know that now, but at the time I'm like, no, I want to spar.
I'm with, mate, my background was boxing, I can 100%.
Yeah, everyone knows it. It's
100%.
It's a shit system.
On the bags, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shit system. But that's because obviously that system is all about money. Boxing is just all about money. So, anyway, after a while, they started letting me spar, and they're like, oh, fucking hell, he's pretty good in.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, so I was going for a good 6 months. But that running and skipping really paid dividends for me, because one time I got chased by about 10 guys with knives, and I was running for my life, and it come in handy.
Jab ain't going to help there, is it?
No. I was more than prepared to, but still, you know, there's a time and a place, isn't there? So, was doing a bit of boxing, and then there's also a youth program that was in Longsight at the time called Adventure, and then they were paying for kids to go and do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu once a week at SPG.
And when is this? What time? Is it still the same sort of age?
This is 2008.
So jiu-jitsu in the country then would have been not much, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's 2008. So we're doing it, and he taught us a triangle, and I'm like, yeah, this is fucking sick. I need to know how to do this.
Are you in the gi and all that? Have you got the gi? No gi.
I'm straight. Okay. I'm straight out. I call people who train in the gi boys.
Brilliant. I'm a big fan of no gi. So shout out to all the gi massive.
Listen, I fucking hate the gi for a few reasons. One, I'm shit at it.
Okay.
Two, it fucking hurts. And three, it just doesn't do that for me.
You see, the thing is, right, when I train if I train in the gi once a week is when I like it, because then I'm not in it that often. So if I do once a week in the gi, I really appreciate it and really enjoy it, but I'm predominantly a no gi guy.
I mean...
Are you graded in the gi?
2 stripes, white belt.
Is that right?
Yeah, man, pride.
Got them 2 stripes?
Yeah, well, no, just the fact that I'm still a white belt.
Oh, I got you. I see.
Yeah, because I used to love going to jiu-jitsu gyms and smashing people, and they'd be like, what belt are you? I go, white belt. They'd be like, all right.
Yeah, I'm a purple belt.
Yeah, I'm allowed to say gay.
Of course, yeah, it's how you want, mate, yeah.
It's fucking gay. Yeah. So, so when, like, oh, what belt are you? It's fucking, I can't stand it. Yeah. It's bullshit. It's some gatekeeping bullshit. Yeah. I don't need you to tell me how fucking good I am. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I don't need a belt to tell me how good I am. I'm not acting like I'm amazing, but I'm far from fucking
It's
shit.
Interesting you say that. I am graded at jiu-jitsu, right? And I am proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Stuff. Yeah, right. But at the same time you say that, I met a wrestling coach, and his episode's coming out. It'll be out by the time this is out. Lubo Kumbrov. Do you know Lubo by any chance?
That name rings a bell.
Bulgarian champion. He trains people in Lincoln predominantly, and he travels around.
I've got some family in Lincoln.
Oh, have you? Yeah, I was up there recently with Lubo. Shout out Lubo. Fantastic coach. But he's a wrestler, pure wrestler, and he's not a pure wrestler, sorry. He came from pure wrestling, national champion, and then he started with like submission grappling. He's got like his own system. Just a phenomenal coach, one of them guys.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Right, but I met him when I was a blue belt, and he kind of said to me like, don't worry about belts. He said it's about what happens like now. And again, I don't want to quote him directly. He said it, right? But along the lines of like, it matters what we can do now, today. And it stuck with me. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, wow, he's right. At the end of the day,
mate, it's listen, right? Same again. 36 years old, and that, I think you get to a certain age in life, you start thinking about things, and start, like, picking the bones out of things, and it's just a bullshit gatekeeping system. It's just, in fact, I was listening to Craig Jones talk the other week, and he said what it is, jiu-jitsu, grappling, it's fucking hard.
It is, yeah.
And I love this because I was getting fucking smashed. I was training like with some of the top grapplers in the country in MMA, and some of the top fighters in the country, in fact, in MMA. And basically, I used to get smashed because boxing was my bread and butter, striking. That came easy to me, grappling didn't. So it was a very hard 2 years of just getting fucking... In fact, I did a post the other week where one of my student, Jack, he submitted me for the first time. He's been training me for like, I think 3 years. He submitted me for the first time last week. So
Legit submission, got
yeah,
you.
well, yeah and no. We were positional sparring.
Yeah.
And we were starting in the mount.
Yep.
So, you know, when he submits me in actual open spar, open rolling, then yeah.
Then we get him on a podcast and we talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, because I'm not that fucking zen yet, I've got to highlight the facts. We were starting in the mount. So yeah, anyway, he submitted with a head and arm choke.
Good man.
Beautiful, because we do a lot of work on it. So it's bittersweet when your student does something to you that you've taught them. You're like, oh, nice, but bastard, I'm slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so anyway, I made a post about it, and I was like, imagine playing computer with your friend and you don't beat him in 10 years. You probably stop playing that game, won't you?
Yep.
You probably stop playing against him.
Yep.
I never did. Certain training, like one of my friends, Rick Lowanson, fucking monster. His first fight, he knocked the guy out with a suplex. Suplexed him 3 times, from behind. You know someone's a nasty bastard when that's what they're doing on their first fight as well. So yeah, he mauled me for years, and the shit thing is about Rick, he also dabbled in catch wrestling.
Okay.
So I never fought with catch wrestling. So he's doing things to me that I don't even know the defense to. And he knows that. And that's how much of a prick he is. He's like, he's buzzing off the fat. I don't even know how to defend it. And it hurts like fuck, whatever it is. So anyway, he bitched me for fucking years. Years and years and years and years and years. And then I went through a bit of an episode of my life. Me and my long-term girlfriend at the time split up. I was on a bit of a journey. Started lifting weights properly. I'd had 12 fights and never done power cleans.
Yeah.
Started doing power cleans, like, why have I never done this before? So anyway, they were a big factor, but I also started taking magic mushrooms as well.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, and I feel like they really helped with me learning and absorbing information, and just also not overthinking.
What age are you at this point?
30.
Oh, so grown man, like fuck me, yeah.
30. I'm a late bloomer.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like to think he remembers this because it was the first time I ever beat him. And so anyway, and Rick, I known that he would let people put himself in positions to test himself. So I remember mounting him, and I was like, "Did you let me do that?" I was like, "No." So anyway, he couldn't get me out of the mount. Anyway, I rolled with someone else, and I was like, "I want to roll with him again. I want to make sure that's not a fluke." Rolled him again. I've got to use the S word. I smashed him.
Hey.
So anyway, I goes up to my coach. I went, because he knows what Rick's capable of. He's seen what Rick's done to me and loads of other people for years. So that he's never seen that before. So I'm like, "Did you see that?" I went, "That's the mushrooms that."
Just lost him, yeah.
And then my other long-time training partner, who was like Bama world champion for a lot. You ever heard of Rob Sinclair?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was training Rob Sinclair a long
All right.
time.
Nice.
And like I roll with Rob, and I like to think I edged him in this round. No homo. I like to think I edged the round. Not edged him.
Edged the round. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. I edged the round, right? Just through. I was a better athlete. And obviously I'd been having the mushrooms, and he went, "Fucking hell, you feel good, what have you been doing?" I went, "Mushrooms." He went, "No, I've been serious." I went, "Mushrooms, mate." I went, "All right, I've been doing power cleans as well."
Power cleans and mushrooms, kids, that's the answer.
Yeah, literally.
Don't worry about learning how to jab, none of that shit.
I was shooting double legs that hard, I was busting my own lip.
Yeah.
But that's the power cleans, like they make you like phenomenal athlete, I believe. So yeah, fucking, how did we get on the smashing Rick for the first time? So it took me 10 years to beat him.
I was going to say we started off with like the ranking system.
Most people are giving up, aren't they? They're giving up.
Yep.
I just got fucking smashed. Like, Rob's got a brother called Mick Sinclair. Fucking hell, Rob and Mick absolutely abused me for years. But what it was in my head, I thought, right, if I can't finish rounds with these, then I shouldn't be sparring them.
Yeah.
And my ego is telling me, no, I'm good enough to spar these guys. But fuck me, man, was it hard. Got absolutely brutalised. But then that made me the fighter and the person that I am now. Like, I could go to most gyms in this country or maybe even the world and hold my own.
Yeah.
Hold my own and not ever be a little bitch and be like, oh, that's too hard, oh, that was too rough, or it's like, nah, actually,
But that's the battle, innit? Do you know what I mean?
I'm into it, so the joke's on you.
Well, we've all seen people that come in the gym that have got talent and whatnot, but they don't stick about, do they?
Yeah,
They get to
yeah.
sort of blue belt and disappear. Do you know what I mean?
I never did the belt thing, like I said.
No, but it's the time, innit? Like, if you're in a gym or in a sport, like a combat sport for 10 years, consistent, and you keep showing
16
up.
years I've been doing it now.
Do you know what I mean? If you're in there for years and years and years, that carries weight, doesn't it? And
Yeah,
over
big
time,
time.
it pays off, you know?
Yeah, you're just well, it's that term game, innit? Gameness. And gameness is like, even when it's clear that you can't win, you still believe you can.
Yep.
You're like, nah, because I remember having a fight with this big guy on the street years ago, and it was like the first time since training that I had a fight at night time on the street.
All right, you're already a martial artist at this point.
Yeah, but the shadows were fucking with my reflexes. So the guy didn't land a punch on me, but I was struggling to find my opening for the counter. One, the guy was very fast and very big.
Was he a fighter too?
No, well, he was it was like a little bit of a fake ass traveller, fucking wannabe hard man, fucking probably battered quite a few people on the street that can't fight.
Yeah.
But now you're fighting someone who can fight. So me and this guy were fighting for a good few minutes, but like, he's not landed a punch on me. I dropped him at one point with an uppercut, but he got straight back up to his credit, and he runs me through a garden gate, right? And I like hit the floor, but jiu-jitsu just kicks in straight away. I basically got like his foot in a headlock. So he's on one foot, so he can't stamp on me.
Right.
So, a bit like an Achilles.
Yeah, but he's standing.
Yeah. Everyone comes running over, and I'm like, I feel a bit gay saying this, but I'm like, let me up and we'll carry on. And so anyway, as I let him go his leg, he stamps on my chest. This fight's been going on a few minutes. So anyway, by the time I stood up, but it's been a little bit of a lackluster fight at this point, because that's kind of how I am.
Yeah.
I'm a thinking fighter. I box on the outside and things like that. I don't take risk and all the rest of it. And if I do, the calculator, whatever else. So when I stood up, his mates are going, he's rocked. And I'm like, and what it felt like was trying to explain to someone that you're not drunk while having a drink in your hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you on about? My mates are like, nah, fuck it, let's leave it. I'm like, mate, fucking move. He's like, nah, let's leave it. I'm like, mate, get the fuck out of my way. But all this time, this guy's got his hands on his knees, gasping for air, looking, thinking, are we, aren't we? This guy, it'd be very convenient for this guy right now for us to stop fighting. And I'm like, get the fuck out my way now, to my mate who's pretty hard as well. I'm like, mate, give me fucking 2 minutes, get out my way. So anyway, he's got out my way, and what was going on in this fight, I was walking him down, and then he'd run at me. And because he was throwing heat, I'd circle off, rather than, stand there like everyone wants me to do and trade blows, which is just stupid. So anyway, this guy's tired, so I'm walking him down now, he's got no burst in him. So boom, jabbed him. And, his fucking eye just split open like a manga film, and he's covered in his own blood, starts panicking, comes at me with these same overhand punches, but they're slower now. So I've like blocked it and got the tie clinch at the same time, started kneeing fuck out of him. And then as I'm kneeing fuck out of him, the little scumbag's starting to grab my balls. So I've like took my hips away and just guillotine, standing guillotine him, and just choked him unconscious. But I've got hold of him, I'm not like John Jones Machado.
Yeah.
And all his mates like, please let go of him, please let go. And I'm looking at him, and I was, I'd seen red, and I just thought, fuck it, let go of him. And fucking, those scenarios there is what being in the gym teaches you, because it's like, you might want to quit, I don't. And let's say, because you get it in gyms, don't you, where you just don't like someone.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is, you get to put your hands on them. Do you know what I mean? You had those scenarios where someone who you just don't like, so you're like, I'm going to fucking knee ride your face.
Yeah.
And
they can't hide at this point, can
yeah,
they?
it's like, yo, and the beauty about this environment is we don't even have to have any verbal disagreements. It can be fake as fuck on the exterior. Like, hey, bro, do you want to roll? Sweet. And just fucking smash them.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the environment that I come from. So then and let's say if me and you are having like a bit of an ego roll, this could be going on 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Bell
like,
goes, you just carry on.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm not fucking...
Them's the rules, right?
Yeah, I'm not, like, and it's not even, no one even knows that we've got a little tiff together.
No.
Maybe you don't even know.
Yeah.
I just don't fucking like you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, right, we're going at it here, and there's no way I'm going, right, that'll do. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't fucking like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's that. You've got to have that stubbornness, that hard-nosedness as a fighter, as an athlete, or even as a martial artist on the gym. I mean, there's plenty of people who just train to get out the house. It's fine. I'd rather you be here than not be here. But then there's people who are like proper ultra competitive. And obviously as a coach, they're the people that we really do want in the gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, the best athlete, like, unfortunately for myself, I don't know, it was a time where I was living the life and then just kind of fizzed out a little bit for me. But like, as a coach, you want the athletes that you don't have to harass.
Yeah.
That you don't have to ring and say, have you done this? Have you done that? Why are you not this? Why are you not that?
Can't have that long term, can you?
No.
Eventually it don't work out.
It ain't going to work. It's just going to serve for now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and those guys that do all the work, I give them things for free. I give them my time for free.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you deserve it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's a two-way street at that point as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
they give it back to you, don't they?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They're here, the present. Because obviously as a coach who puts his heart and soul into this, how you repay me is by being here.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even if you're a paying member, if you're not here, it's like, I'd rather you be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's how you showing me the love back.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me feel better when there's people in the gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And also the people that I like. And then when new people come, it's like, oh yeah, all these people are here. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I want to stay here.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, with this business side of things, I try to be very open. You know, like my athletes that I've got, I tell them, I say, listen, the day it isn't convenient for you to be here, don't be here. Don't be here for me. You know, because if you don't want to be here, then I'm not doing my job properly. And I like to think I'm going to do my job proper for a long time. Like, mate, I could get 3 years down the road and be like, I'm not digging this competing shit no more. I just want a gym. I just want to teach martial arts. And you know what? I am loving seeing certain people who I know don't want to compete get better. I am loving it. But with the athletes, it's like I give everything I've got. And, you know, that goes a long way. Because like I say it to my athletes all the time. Not all the time, but when worried, I say, listen, if you're not convenient for you to be here, don't be here. But when you talk to people like that, then they're like, they just want to be here. They want to be around you because they know, like, this guy's got my best interests at heart. You know what I mean? It's not like, because I could make a lot of money doing this and get people loving me doing this. But if I'm shitting on people on the way, it ain't going to feel good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if I can do good by my people and get a lot of money and get a great name, then I've really won then, I know.
You cracked it then, because as I said to you, I think I said it on here already, it's like, when you come in here, it's only me and you in here, by the way, there's not like a team training, but there's a good energy about the place. I'm already in my mind thinking I'm coming back to Manchester to spend a week and train with you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like that kind of vibe, and like we've touched on it already. Some gyms you go in, the training's great, but you go, that'll do. I don't think I'll come back again. I might do a drop in once a month.
What it is, us martial artists, mate, we're sensitive people.
Big time. The most sensitive, which is even more strange.
Yeah, I am. Like, if I don't feel the love, and don't get me wrong, you ain't got to be like fucking popping party poppers when I walk in.
No.
But if I don't feel the love and I don't feel good energy, it's like,
That's it. I walk in, I want a handshake, and how's it going?
yeah,
Boom, boom,
like,
boom.
yeah, it's just like... It's
We're here
just,
to work now.
Yeah, it's just like, obviously, there's the way you conduct yourself, the way I conduct myself, and then it's good to have that in return.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't give to receive, but it's nice to receive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big thing, man, and that's, like I said, like, I've been on a bit of a journey in my life now, and around 30, I realised, like, oh shit, I'm not actually the greatest person, am I? I could be a fucking lot better. And then I started picking the bones through my past and whatever else, and I'm like, that's not good, that. So then when I realised who I am, or who I was, and who I am, and who I want to be, the person I want to be is the person that I needed. So that's what I try to do to my students, to my kids, to my girlfriend, to my friends, to my family. I try to be who they needed. Obviously, I can always be doing better, and I am trying it and working on it, but I just try stick to that. Be who you needed. Do you know what I mean? And it's working at this point. But a little problem that I do have, that when I see people not doing those things, especially people in positions of power, it's like I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? And then something I've come to learn over the last couple of weeks now is like, you know what, Tony, you're not going to be able to understand everything and everyone. Everyone's different. Everyone's on their own. Everyone's got their own story, and you just got to leave them to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
You don't know what's going on with people either, do you?
No,
behind the closed doors. We've all got our own battles, haven't we?
Of course not, but I'm the sort of person to reach out to those people and say,
Yep.
if you want to chat, I'm here.
That's it, man. No.
But obviously, then when the like, after, I mean, yeah, like you said, everyone's fucking different.
Yep.
And that's something that I'm learning more and more. Everyone's different, and everyone's got fucking ADHD.
ADHD is a big one. Yeah,
It's like, just saying to me, phone the phone, because I think he's diagnosed with it, pretty sure he is. And I'm like, no, mate, because obviously, because I'm a coach and I interact with people all the time, and I'm a people's person anyway. I'm like, fucking hell, everyone's got something.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah. And I said, mate, I'm not trying to normalise your shit to you. I'm not trying to play it down. I'm just letting you know you're not on your own.
You're in the right place type thing, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's fucking got something. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it, mate. But that's good. So I want to talk to you briefly about training. Like you said about power cleans, changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
You've been training a long time and then you found power clean.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into training, what sort of thing are you doing with power cleans? Were they heavy? Were they light? Or
Well, the idea of plyometric training is like,
fast, isn't it?
yeah, not what you're lifting, but how fast you're lifting.
Yeah.
So I think at the time, I was around 85 kilos, and my PB was like 75.
Yeah.
Which is just okay. It's not anything out of this world. Like one of my friends, Caleb, who's just like, unfortunate. Well, he's a phenomenal talent, but don't live in the gym, is what it is. But I think when he was like 63 kilos, he could get 90 over his head, with a clean and snatch.
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason why he's a phenomenal talent, because he's a sick athlete. So yeah, they're a big thing. But I think when you first start power cleans, you want to start with just like 2 5s or 2 10s on either side.
Oh, definitely. If not the bar, right? Just to get it right.
Yeah, exactly that. Start with a bar and 2 5s, because form's everything in it. Because what you don't want to be doing is trying to get stronger and whatever else and creating injuries.
And also, you got to get the benefit of it, right? So let's say for round number sake, you stick 100 on the bar, where you might be better doing 60. Do the fucking 60 because it's right, and you can get the 100 up, but the transfer of that 100 is whatever.
Well, my mate who got me on the power cleans, my mate Craig, was like my best mate. He was doing 120s.
Yep.
Reps I think he was doing 10 reps of 10 with 120s. He's like, you do 30 though, mate. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Shut up, Craig.
Yeah. No, he was right though, and obviously
Of course he was,
I was just happy that he was showing, because at the time I was in a bit of a dark place.
Yep.
So he was just putting his arm around me, taking me to the gym, and like,
That's
come
good,
on,
mate.
mate.
But what was you doing with them? Was you doing them like multiple times a week, or what? What was going on?
Twice a week's enough, innit? With things like that.
Definitely.
Power training, and then I really got into it.
And what are you doing around them? Sorry, is what I'm getting at. Was you doing just power cleans and sets?
No. So I'd be doing like a full body workout.
Okay.
But like obviously your power training, you want to do it at the start of your session.
Yep.
From my knowledge, anyway.
Definitely, yeah, I'd say so.
Yes, because obviously you want it where your power bar's full.
Yeah.
You start doing power training where at the end of a session, you
It's not power training really, is it?
And you know what, mate? Obviously, I'm a fat parcel now, but I do know my shit. So every now and again, I'll go pure gym or whatever. I'll be like, let's get a rally. Let's rally back. Let's get this weight off. And I'll be watching some kid doing box jumps at the end of his workout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, mate, I know I don't look like it, but I know you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You're gonna get injured. And it's like, I think it's a big no-no, innit? Like fat people telling people how to train. But I have been there and done it.
Yeah.
I've fought professionally. It was my life as an athlete at one point. So yeah, I know I don't look it now, but yeah, you shouldn't be doing that, mate.
Well, the problem is with young people too, is like, you're not going to get injured for a while anyway. If you're 20 and you're doing box jumps, you get away with it. Do you know what I mean?
True, but here's the thing, I'm thinking the long term.
That's what I mean. You get away with it for a couple of years and then you can't.
And then your Achilles is fucked.
Exactly.
Or you blow your knee out.
That's
or
it.
something.
Big toe goes, all kinds of silly shit, doesn't it? All stuff goes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, and that's one of my problems. I'm opinionated.
I think we all are, right? That's how it goes, isn't it?
Not everyone is. Well,
Do you not know?
everyone has an opinion, but...
They don't say it, you're right.
Yeah, not everyone says
They'll
it.
keep it to
Well,
themselves.
I just fucking can't help it.
Yeah.
I just
But
can't help
I
it.
think it's needed. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you're a coach. You don't want a coach that don't say
well,
it.
here's the thing. This is why I'm starting to realise more and more, like, oh shit, I found my thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm opinionated. I like to fucking speak. I say how I feel what I say.
That's it.
So yeah, I feel like they're the tools to be a coach, obviously to know your craft as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're what I bring to the table as a coach as well, like that passion and just sort of like...
Which is 90% of it
if I
anyway.
see it, I got to say it.
But the passion and everything, that's 90% of being a coach to me anyway, isn't it? Do you know
I'd
what I mean?
imagine so, yeah.
There's
I'd
so much
imagine
knowledge out there where you can find knowledge, but you know, the special fighters are going to rise anyway, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas
true.
like, if you've got a coach that don't give a fuck, he can have all the knowledge in the world, what good is it?
Exactly. Well, look at like Teddy Atlas.
Yeah.
He's, that we're firemen, that speech, every athlete like ourselves, it'll give us fucking goosebumps and it's like, you look at things like that, you're like, shit, that's what I needed, do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he would have had a lot of fighters that never made it, but he's also had a lot of fighters that had. I think that's Timothy Bradley, innit?
Yeah, that was,
Who he has that. And the funny thing is, right, one of my good friends, Janie, he lives not far from here. He was like, mate, one day he was sat in because my mate Cheney used to have like a hut in his garden, like what a Wendy house is.
Yeah.
Like his mum, basically, he's got a cool mum and dad. When he was like 14, his mum and dad were like, right, if you're going to smoke weed, we'll build you this in the garden.
Is that right? If you're going to, don't do it. Go out there and do it.
Well, yeah, because obviously they were real, innit? They're like...
He's going to do it anyway.
He's going to do it.
Yeah.
So rather than do it in some fucking abandoned house and fucking get fucking non-stop someone somewhere.
Do it here so we can keep on you.
Right, we know where you are.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, he's a fucking bad stoner. But he never got in no trouble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they seen it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But he used to have like this hut, and it was probably like the size of that space over there. It's a good size. And he said, mate, one day, this bird that he knew was a stripper, he went, she brought him here. He was in my hut, bro, smoking weed in here too. And he was like, I'm going to be somebody one day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's mad, that, isn't it? That's a
I'm
mental
like,
story.
are you sure? He's like, mate, I swear to God, he was in my American guy. They're a black guy, bald head.
Just turned up, Manchester.
Yeah, it was obviously because you get it in it where they're in training camps and whatever.
Yeah,
else.
of course, yeah.
Maybe even being paid to coach. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, Commonwealth Games was in Manchester at one point, wasn't he?
Could have been around about
do you know what I mean?
that
Yeah,
time.
because he was probably on the team for the US or something.
Yeah. Might have been around about that time. Yeah, and so basically, it's funny how you bring the Commonwealth Games because there's a guy that I know, right? And I do like him. He's a sound guy. He's my mate's mate, and when we see each other, we have a good laugh and whatever else. And but he, I don't know if you remember, what was his name now? Fought Klitschko, lost the belt to Klitschko, mixed race guy, David.
David Hay. Yep, of course, yep.
So David Hay was supposed to be in the Commonwealth Games, and he pulled out.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you know why he pulled out?
No.
he got banged out outside a hotel in town.
Is that right?
Yeah, off this guy that I know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shout out to David.
Yeah.
Hey, we're dropping a bomb today.
Yeah. Because this guy's a fucking troll.
Yeah, I know a lot about David Hay because David, I don't know him, but
Yeah.
he came from an amateur boxing club called Fitzroy Lodge. And I had a former Fitzroy Lodge coach on the other day. Shout out Adam Martin, mate. We might do another one soon. But that's like, from my boxing club, they're like one of the closest boxing clubs, very sort of like friendly, do you know what I mean? And I know Adam Martin, and he was actually in my corner one night because I've said it on here before, but I boxed someone from my own club in like, I think it was the London Southwest or something like that.
Yeah.
So when you box someone from your own club, you can't have your own coaches, so we had to have a different, so I had
Okay,
their coaches.
right.
So yeah, it's like close to us.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Nah. What was that like, boxing then? Someone from your own club?
It was, yeah. It was. I don't want to shit on the guy, but he was known by the judges because of the business he was in,
Okay.
and they gave him the decision
Yeah.
when I beat him, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Wait, listen, if you're not shitting on, if you beat
No.
him, you beat him.
and the thing is, that they gave it.
I've said a lot fucking worse about people, haven't I?
Yeah, well, he's a nice fella, but I beat him, and basically I bashed his nose up, and he couldn't go through.
Right.
So we both went out. So I was like, they
Well,
robbed
you-
me for no
yeah,
reason.
Yeah, you should have gone through on that then.
Well, they robbed me for no reason,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the guy got a bye to the next round. So it was like one of them.
Do you know what, mate? And like I said, I always had that, not always, but, you know, I had that natural boxing ability when I first started training. And I've done a lot of work with a boxing coach called Paulino Silva, really, really nice guy, top coach. He's got his son now going through the ranks, Mario, really, really fucking good fighter, great talent, really, really nice kid as well. And but Paulie kind of wanted me to transfer over into boxing at
Yeah, is
one
that
point,
right?
and I was like,
Was you more a natural striker than a grappler? Then I
yeah,
take it?
yeah. And I was like, nah, it's fucking gay. He's like, what do you mean? I said, mate, I like fighting, not beating up fucking journeymen.
Yeah.
All the politics that go with it. So for that as an example, and that's what I said when Taylor got robbed of that fight. I said, fucking hell, they made it a real boxing experience because because obviously he was at their gym.
Yeah.
The home fighter won, even though he got battered.
Amateur boxing's terrible for it. Like some of the decisions you see.
So, and I don't understand it, like, because obviously, did you train hard for that fight?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Lost loads of... I tell you what happened for that fight too.
To be robbed?
I'll tell you what happened for that too. That different years, sometimes they had 71 kilos as a weight division, which I could make at the time. But sometimes it was out, so it was 69 straight to 75. I tried to make 69, couldn't, and I'm 19, I didn't know what I was doing, I was just starving. Got to 69.8, so I had to box to 75 anyway. That's why we ended up boxing.
So you changed your life a little bit to make this weight?
Didn't make it, and then boxed at 75, which I probably weighed only about 74 before I started trying to lose weight.
Okay.
And then I got in there with that, and I got robbed like that. And he was, I mean, it don't matter, it's a long time ago. He was the cameraman, so everyone knew him.
It clearly fucking matters.
It mattered. In fact, listen, I don't lose any sleep over it often.
No, it's...
But my coach said I won too. Everyone was like, "What?" And that was why it was a bit of a stink. And I won't mention his name. He's a nice fella, but it was like my coach was like, "You won that one," and they were saying to him. And my coach was one of them that he'd give you stick. Like if you'd had a pretty decent performance, he'd tell you how shit you was. Do you know what I mean? It was like that. So he was going to him. You lost that. He won that, and they was trying to get me back in because he couldn't go through because of his nose. Didn't happen, and we both went out.
Yeah, mate. That's why I rarely watch boxing. I think the last boxing fight I watched was Ward Kovalev 2.
Oh, way
That
back.
was
What was that,
probably
17, 18?
Yeah. I just don't watch boxing much.
Yep.
It's fucking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, at its best, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's great. I love watching, like, you know, if Canelo was fighting like someone who I know who's like top tier, I'd be like, watch that.
But that's the problem with boxing too, compared to UFC. I had a chat with this about me mate. I don't know if you've seen the Saudi card that's coming up, Beterbiev versus Bivol. It's like the first card where there's a load of big fights on it, whereas normally boxing, like you said, Canelo's fighting.
So that guy who you just said who's fighting Bivol,
Yeah.
what did he say his name was?
Beterbiev.
Is that the guy who's about 36 or something?
That's him. Yeah, he beat Callum Smith.
He's a bit of a monster.
Animal,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Great fight. They're both undefeated.
Yeah.
Bivol beat Canelo,
So that's going to
obviously.
be one worth watching it.
But also the card is mad because
general.
like you said about Canelo, if you watch a Canelo fight's great, but then down the card it's like whatever.
Well, here's what them Saudis might be doing then, because they've been exposed to the UFC, and they're like, right, this is how it should be.
Yep.
And it's a shame because the UFC is an amazing product on the surface.
Yep.
But obviously when you get deeper into it, I've never obviously been there or anything, but you know, from when Francis Ngannou, the world champion, is leaving, what the fuck does that tell you?
You don't know, do you? Yeah, it's all over the shop,
What
isn't it?
does that tell you? And then there's a meme, right? I just seen it the other day. I've never seen the series, but you know that series, The Boys?
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but he's like a blonde superhero who looks like Sage Norcut.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
So there's a picture of him and he's just sort of staring into space. And then the meme says, when you're watching a guy who you knocked out 2 years ago on the undercard of an Apex show win $1 million in the PFL,
Yeah.
and you're still in the UFC,
Yeah.
getting 40 grand to fight, 40 grand to win, which is still fucking good money, but it's not though, is it, when you put in the work in that you put in? Because fucking hell, when you're hell bent on getting a win, like even for my fights, God knows the money I used to spend on my fights. Do you know what I mean? And you know, one-on-one coaching, 2 free trips a week to Tesco for fresh fucking meat, fruit and veg. You know, your time, your best years of your life. And that's something I've only come to realise now in my 30s, like shit, they were my best years. And this is what I tell my guys, I'm like, all you know is being young. Because you've been 18, 19, 20, you're now 23, 24. You don't know what it's like to be 34, 33, 35, 30. You don't know. And it's like, I mean, if you're smart anyway, some people are smart. I've always been one of them who has to learn the hard way. Yeah. But it's like, you don't know what you got till you fucking lost it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they say youth's wasted on the young, don't they?
What does that mean?
Youth's wasted on the young.
What does it mean?
Like, you're physically in your prime and you're whatever, but then you're not smart enough to realise it.
Oh, right.
And then when you get older, you see it, but you're past it.
Well, yeah, it's like right now I'm the most technical I've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm the most technical I've ever been. But unfortunately, like, I think it was last year, I was going to have a boxing fight just to use it as a springboard to compete in MMA again. And I was fucking flying. I was like, all up, like, basically, I was feeling really good, started training hard, was living clean, living the life. And then someone was like, oh, this guy wants to fight you. I'm like, what? Fucking hell, this is the first. No one's ever called me out. Fucking hell, madness. What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, he fancies a crack at you. I'm like, really? All right, and sweet, it's fucking on then. Anyway, it turns out the fucking little Muppet promoter had told the same thing to that guy.
Yeah, the old Montreal screw job.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it, it's business, and you know what, fair play to the guy, he got me back being active and whatever else, but still, maybe it's the childish side of me, but it's like, yeah, I don't talk shit like that to me. Because it's, like Nick Diaz says, or Nate Diaz, where I'm from, people like you get slapped. Yeah. And that's, I don't like when people either try and financially slap my ass, or try and run rings around me in a smart ass way. Bit like when I was asking that guy, what's this guy's name? And he wouldn't tell me. Yeah. You know, for Taylor's fight.
Just snidey, sneaky
it's
shit.
like, don't take the fucking piss. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I ended up training for this fight. And
this is a boxing match?
Yeah, and the problem was, I started training like I'd never stopped training.
Right.
So anyway, this one fucking Wednesday, I'm supposed to spar this big traveller guy, this big Tyson Fury looking guy, right? So, but I'm about 3 weeks into training hard. And as the weeks go in, I'm putting more plates on the bar, metaphorically.
Yeah.
So Wednesday morning, I'd done a one-on-one session, right, with the boxing coach. And the funny thing is, the same boxing coach I was talking about before, I spoke so highly about, still do. But we have a clash sometimes. He likes things done in a certain way, I like things done in a certain way. Now, he doesn't like you pivoting on your hooks. Okay. Where to me, because I want everything to be easy. I don't want it to be physically hard. And basically, what I try and teach my students is like, all right, you can punch hard, but can you punch hard when you're tired? And the only way you can punch hard when you're tired is if you're using the kinetic chain, if you're using the mechanics of the punch and whatever else. So where he does, basically, he only wants you to use from your waist up. And to me, it's a sick core workout, but I'm not coming here for that. I'm coming here for boxing. Yeah. And it's the sweet science. Yeah. So anyway, because for the first time ever though, I'm doing a boxing fight, because normally I just won't listen to him. I'll just be like, okay, bro. And but I'm doing a boxing fight. I'm a coach myself, so I'm going to show him the respect as a coach, and I'm going to listen to him. So he's getting me to go body, head, body, head, body, head on the pads, but not pivoting. So it's a lot of an arm punch. So anyway, later on that night I'm sparring and I'm shadow boxing, getting ready for this spar. I remember shadow boxing. I'm not a big bicep guy. Me, I'm a calf guy. But so anyway, I'm shadow boxing. I'm like, fucking hell, that bicep looks big. You know, my left back. I remember I was like, shit, I look like JDS. You know how JDS used to stand?
Yeah,
he'd be like that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And he'd have this big fucking bicep with a vein in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, fucking hell. But before I'd actually got there, supposed to spar at 6:30. I rang him. I'm laying on the couch. I've got my baby girl lay on my chest, and I'm fucked. I rang him. Go, Paul, can we do this on Friday? Oh, mate, he's coming a long way and whatever else. I'm like, fuck's sake, right, okay, I'll be there. So anyway, this is a lesson for me to never let anyone guilt trip you into doing something you don't actually want to do, because when it all fucking falls apart, they're not going to be there anyway.
No.
So anyway, gets warmed up, but I'm a little bit nervous because this is the first time I've done something like this for a while. I'm having someone spar in a gym, and as far as I'm aware, it's just going to be a fight. And the guy's fucking massive. So anyway, gets warmed up, gets in the ring, and I'm very, very comfortable, very, very sure of myself, on my skill set. Obviously this guy's a boxer, I'm an MMA guy, but me being the way I am, I'm like, yeah, I probably know more about boxing than you. So anyway, fucking starts off, gets a knife jab off to the body, like a stabbing jab to the body, and it's my MO. So step off, all my body mechanics and my body language does the jab to the body, but boom, left hook. And both of his hands drop. That's how impactful the jab to the body was, the initial jab to the body. I've got it on video, I've watched it numerous times. So anyway, I catch him with the left hook. And then I catch him with the left hook, slip his jab, boom, right hand as well. Circle off. I go to throw another jab and I'm like, what the fuck? I tore my bicep.
Ah.
Yeah. And I've got a baby girl. I've got a baby boy on the way. I'm a coach. And this is how I earn money. I teach people grappling. I've torn my bicep.
Fuck's sake.
This guy who had sparred, who had put my body on the line for, was pissed off that this happened 30 seconds in. He didn't get to land the punch on me. So you could tell he was pissed off, felt, shortchanged.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the coach Paulie, feels really, really bad. But I don't even give a fuck about what they think at this point. I'm just like, what we're going to do?
And that's a surgery thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like a fucking...
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know when it was. A couple of months ago, I was at Paul's gym. Throw the left hook on the bag, and he's like, how is it, mate? I'm like, it's all right. He's like, you know what, mate? I felt so fucking guilty about that. I'm like, you fucking shut up as well, you fucking prick. Because he was like, I know you told me, you rang me and said, mate, can I leave it? And fucked him. Went, bro, I felt so bad about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
You've always got to listen to yourself when you're in that situation. Even we've had this chat so many times with people on the mat, when you're sitting there, when you've done whatever, you've rolled enough rounds and you go, that'll do for me in your brain.
Yeah.
And then someone goes, oh, do you want one more round? And you go,
go on then.
Always the time to go. Never do it.
Yeah, but you only learn that through getting injured.
You do. But that's it,
I did my hamstring once doing sprints about 20 minutes after wrestling.
That's it, innit?
Went, more or less got cold.
Didn't need them, did you?
Did the foot. We were all dragged. We basically had a race outside the gym. And you ever done your hamstring?
Yeah. It was the first injury I ever had when I was 15 was a hamstring.
Touch wood, right? I've never been shot, but it feels like you've been shot in the leg.
It's horrible, yeah. It's like,
yeah, you just pull up straight away, don't you? And when I was at Tiger in Thailand in 2019, I did it then.
Oh, when you're away from home as well, fuck
sprints. That. Yeah, I'd gone there to train for a fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so it's camp time. Was you there for 3 months, you said?
Say that again.
Was you there for 3 months, you said?
Yeah.
See, when I went for like a training holiday, so I was there for 2 weeks. It was different, you know what I mean?
I've been for 2 weeks, and when I went for 3 months, I intended not to come back.
Right.
I was just thought in my head, right, I'm going to go there,
Before you've had kids and stuff.
Go there, train, come here, fight, go back there. Basically, I was going there to try and get to the UFC. That was the goal.
Right.
Did my hamstring. My head was all over it. I said, fuck yeah, I had a lot going on in my life.
Yeah.
Basically, that was like an outlet.
Yeah.
Of like
Like an escape sort of thing.
yeah, from the pain, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, and whenever you do anything on those terms, it's never going to work anyway, is it?
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Not
like,
eventually, I think you'll
Nah,
fall
you're
apart,
going to
won't it?
burn out.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to burn out.
But that's the thing, is like you said, when you're training like you've never trained before, when you come back for that, the way to do it really, it's easy in hindsight, isn't it? But is to say like, right, I'm going to be in dynamite shape a year from now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
in shape.
Oh
a
no,
year.
mate! I was in sick shape when I was in Thailand. I was in sick shape, but the bicep one, no. Like I said, I did the floor running.
Yeah.
Like I'd never stopped.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's injuries are a shit thing, but like because I had a slight tear on my meniscus just before lockdown. Supposed to fight for a British title, and I was, oh my god, I was in fucking amazing shape. I was fucking wrecking everyone I was sparring with, like people, like I was making people tap with pressure.
Yeah, right.
Like seasoned fighters.
Nice.
One of my long-time training partners, a great fighter called Ali Arish. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was like one of the top MMA wrestlers in Europe at one point.
Okay.
He's probably about fucking 60 now, right? And he'd probably fight tomorrow for the right money.
Yeah.
So God bless him. But he used to absolutely fucking wipe the floor with me. And then this one, he's done it actually with a few different fighters, where he's took a few different fighters under his wing, and turns them into an animal. Mm-hmm. And he did it with me, and to the point where he wouldn't spar me.
Is that
He
right?
would only wrestle with me. So we'd wrestle 3 days a week, and he like obviously like I think he's about 84 kilos, but he feels about 95.
Yeah.
And he's just like iron. Like he does some shit to where you're like, don't do that again, but show me what you just did.
Yeah,
don't ever do that to me again. I remember one time I tried to wrestle him back, and he made my head go like that at the side there, and I was like, yo, don't do that again.
Do it to him, yeah. Don't do it to me.
And it is a weird thing about Ali as well, like, in terms of ground and pound, he won't punch you. He'll fucking slap you, but on the legs and shit.
What, like open hand, one of them?
Yeah, and I'm like, Ali, mate, punch me in the face.
Yeah, don't slap me bum, yeah. It's
That
not...
hurts. I'm used to this. And I remember one day he went, Tony, look, feel. And he put his hands in my hand, and I'm like, right. He went, my hands are really heavy.
Right.
If I hit you, it's going to hurt. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, fair point.
Keep slapping me.
yeah and no, because one, it's degrading, and two, it fucking hurts.
That's funny.
My thighs aren't conditioned at the top to be slapped.
Not the same, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
my
the
face
same.
is.
Wrestling's a certain strength, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
Lubo, what I was saying earlier, he's smaller than me. He's like probably about 75 kilos on the mat. Like when he competed, I think he competed under 70 and all that stuff. But when he gets a hold of you, he might as well be 100 kilos. He's like, when he gets to his position and he tightens things up on you, it's like a fluidness to suddenly a clamp where you're like, I can't fucking move. You know?
Well, I am a big believer in when you train with good grapplers, everything should hurt.
Yeah.
Obviously, once you then become to a certain level of grappling, you're conditioned to being cross-face.
Yeah.
You're conditioned to having your face knee
That's it.
rided.
You
You're
are.
conditioned to things, but it's uncomfortable because you know this isn't the end.
No.
It's going to get worse in this crossface. So, yeah, don't let him mount you because he's cross-facing you. Where, obviously, your average person, you cross-face them, they're screaming, they're tapping.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, bro, you just now give me your back.
That's it.
You're now going to die. So it's like, so that's something that strikers don't understand either.
Yeah.
The conditioning that our bodies get from grappling. Like, like when someone's knee slicing you and the knee's going through the thigh.
Different, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
conditioning.
it's like, it hurts, it's delicate, fucking all kinds of shit. Like,
Look at our ears, both of us, state of our ears, you know what I mean?
bicep crush. I remember the first time I got calf crush, right?
That's a fun experience, isn't
I
it?
says to my coach, I went, he just fucking bicep crushed me, but on my leg, he went, a calf crush.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
right, yeah.
That's funny. So before we bring it home, mate, I always have a bit of fun with people that like talk about football teams and stuff.
Okay.
And like we spoke briefly before, I said this was going to come. Now we're in Manchester. He's got a strong Manchester accent, so I assumed it was going to be red or blue, and it is red, but it's a different red. Tell us who you support and tell us why.
Well, when I say I'm a retired football fan, but Arsenal.
Recovering football fan.
Yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah,
Jesus
Arsenal.
Christ, I didn't see that one coming from a Mancunian. Supports Arsenal.
Yeah.
Why?
Just as a kid, I just loved them growing up. I always liked the kit, to be fair, but I always just loved the way they played. And then probably a couple of years after supporting Arsenal, they then did the Invincible season. So it's like, right, this is definitely my team. And then round about lockdown, I just stopped watching football.
Is that right?
When football kind of like got sidelined, I was like, I actually don't even need this shit.
So you're over it.
Because it doesn't bring me any fucking pleasure anyway. And then all season last year, they were smashing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to observe from a distance. I didn't watch one game because the way I seen it, I've not been watching anyway. So don't be a bandwagoner and then be like coming out of the woodworks. I'd wind my mates up every now and again. I'd be like, top of the league, you know, because I know they're like infuriating football fans. But yeah, mate, it's, you know what, now it's like, you know the world we live in now, obviously, I've said it probably 5 times on this podcast, I do a lot of thinking now.
Yeah.
And I see football for what it is.
Yep.
And it's, I think they call it bread and games, innit?
Yep.
And that's what it is for the people. It's
Yeah.
a distraction for you to watch, and it's like, you know, fucking hell, you've seen grown men like losing their jobs now because they're at football games, giving it the big uns and the crowd being hooligans. And it's like, this team doesn't give a shit about you, don't even know your name, doesn't know you, and you're putting it all on the line for this team.
Well, you know what's funny? I watched something on Prime last night while I was up here, actually, staying in the hotel. I was sitting there, and it was, I can't remember what it's called. Maybe someone can help me out in the comments. But it's like these fanatical football fans from all different clubs. And there was a geezer from Manchester, actually, and he fell out and don't talk to his sister anymore because he missed her wedding because he had to go to a Man United game.
And it's like, you know what? That's some major baby boy shit. You know,
It's a mental illness at a certain point, isn't it?
But you know that term, baby boy?
Yeah.
It's like, that's what that is. If
Proper,
you're
yeah.
Yeah, if you're a grown man, put in...
Oh, he's about 50, the geezer. Yeah.
there you go. Like, you know, hopefully his sister only gets married once, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and you've missed that.
And don't talk to her.
For a team that doesn't even know who you are,
No.
the same players won't be there in a year or two. It's like, yeah, listen, man, some amazing shit's happened at football. I watched the United do the treble with my dad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
You know, some amazing shit's happened. You know, it was funny watching Barcelona terrorise United in the Champions League final, and David Villa and Messi. You know, there's some good experience in football, but
It is what it is, isn't it?
yeah, you don't like. I you know, I'm one of them guys. Like I'm one of them coaches where I try not to now, but it's times where I've made some of my students feel bad about missing training for a football game, and I'm like, what the fuck are you playing at, mate? Like, you know, 1, we need you on the fucking mat, and 2, you need to be here.
Yeah.
And it's like, that team don't give a fuck about it. And then one day, the penny dropped. I was like, you know what? It's not about the team, is it? They go for a laugh.
That's it.
And I said it to him, and he went, mate, to be honest, plenty of times we go, we don't even watch the game. We're just having a buzz. And I was like, you know what, so be it. Who am I to put an end to their fun in that regard?
Yeah.
So
And I think you need that as well around training, because the training, you know yourself, so hard, isn't it? Sometimes you need to just leave me alone for a day. I'm going to go enjoy myself.
But that's what Sunday's for.
Yeah, that's it. I'm with you. Yeah, don't go to a midweek game, kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, this has been great. I feel like I could talk to you all day, and maybe
Yeah,
we'll do a
man.
part 2 at some point because we ain't
hopefully.
even got started, have we?
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
fair, we didn't
hopefully.
talk too much about your career or anything. But
Yeah, no, it is what it is, mate.
brilliant,
It is what
mate.
it is.
I really appreciate you
Yeah,
doing
man.
this.
You
Thanks
too,
so
pal.
much, mate.
No
So
worries.
I always finish them like this: fists up, squeeze the
I'm
neck,
gonna have to be in Southpaw now.
southpaw now, orthodox, whatever you like. Squeeze the neck, boom.